Not to pun too hard, but the Flamers were on fire in that first map, and they're going to be going up against Aera. I know, I'm sorry. They're going up against Aera, and Aera, I mean, we saw Panics. Panics just went insane. Like the 4 versus 1 with Smoke, got the 4 headshots.
That
with
was
his,
definitely the clutch of the day. Haven't seen anything better yet.
Well, fingers crossed. We're going to see some crazy stuff coming out here, but we are already onto the map. We're already underway. And it looks like the Flamers are going to be kicking off the defenses. So, talk me through here, Derek. Talk me through the compositions that we're seeing coming out. Pretty similar stuff to what we've seen so far, really.
Yeah, it's, I'm a little surprised that they... Well, I guess I'm not actually for that site, but you know, it's always good, I think, to open up something in between A and B. Don't leave it so that if you lose one site, you're stuck trying to just push through the one door left open. You know, open up a wall or two. But
it's almost like you don't want to be caught suddenly being the attackers when you're defending.
Right, exactly. And the more holes you have open, the more you can kind of clean up the point you're not on.
Yeah, it's kind of... one of the good strategies that you kind of see is when you can defend a site without actually being on the site.
Right.
If you blow that wall wide open, then you can just use that as almost like a shooting range.
You can shoot from behind B through into the garage and cover A as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we'll see whether any of that kind of stuff comes out. We are going to see from the eyes of Panics.
Our MVP the last time he was up, right?
Absolutely. And he's going to be going for the Twitch. So different, well, I say different strategy. Obviously, he's on attack, so he can't really play Smoke right now. But we'll see how he's going to do. I mean,
but you know what? Like, as far as weapons go, the FAMAS is pretty. The F2 is pretty much the big Smoke. It's the big SMG-11. You know,
it's pretty terrifying. I mean, I've seen different opinions on the weaponry from Twitch. I'm a huge fan of the F2, but I've seen a couple of people prefer his or her other primary. I mean, what's your personal opinion on the Twitch weaponry?
That kind of rate of fire and one-shot headshots. I mean, as long as you're spraying upper chest area, it's going to evaporate.
You're going to hit the face eventually. Yeah, it's like my mom always
got
said.
The garage open like nothing, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was. I mean, the EMP didn't even go through the letterbox at the bottom. No, it was kind of just like, oh well, I guess it worked anyway. So.
But I mean, Thatcher's EMP takes everything out in like a 200-mile radius anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty much like. It's like the old kill streak EMP on Modern Warfare 2. Oh yeah, it's like just destroys the whole map. But here we go, first kill already coming across. Revan going to pick that one up with a nice little headshot there. So that's going to be dat Flamers on the defensive side with just 4 defenders remaining. So good start here for Aera. And we'll see if they can be more successful on this first map than we saw Epsilon being.
Right. He saw that drone and deuced out fast.
Yeah, that bear trap as well. It's just like, no,
all three frost traps down.
I ain't getting caught by this. Actually, almost caught Frost there as well, but going to be able to dodge on down. Here we go. I'm interested to see kind of how they spread out for this one, whether they kind of all go in together or whether we see kind of one by one. Oh, we are going to see actually he gets dropped down on the stairs. That is going to be Frost, who we were talking about, does take the kill in the end.
Got him while he was changing positions. You see that? He was like prone backwards and switched around, and while his leg flung out, he hit him with the pre-fire and killed him.
Beautiful shot coming out, and that's going to be another couple of kills. And actually, Flamers turning this one around. That's an SMG kill coming out there, I believe, from QB as well. But now, it's 2 versus 3, so really could go either way. And as I say that, that's going to be Torek getting a headshot down. We're going to see enemy pushing on in, finds one for himself, and he's going to be looking for more as he starts to get this diffuser down. He's all on his own, but we are going to see Jaeger is down but not out. So basically,
essentially a
versus Bandit.
Who is right there.
There you have it. The second you say it's a 1v1, he's like, oh, 1v1, I'll pop this guy's head then.
Well, excuse me.
There it is.
His fingers are still typing as he got up.
Excuse me, do you have a moment to talk about headshots? And there we go. So, I mean, technically a triple kill at the end there. I don't know if it quite counts because one of them was down but not out. But I mean, 4 kills with the first round.
And almost an ace, I'd say count it. Yeah.
I mean, he got the same amount of kills and points as the entire enemy team. So he's feeling pretty confident. He's feeling pretty comfortable. And that is going to be the first round going over to Aera. So dat Flamers now, work cut out here. And I mean, this is a team that in that last match just straight up 5-0'd the first map. So I'm interested.
And they held their own in the second one too. It wasn't a total. They didn't win, but they weren't a shutout either.
No, I think it was like 5-2 on bank, I believe. Yeah. So I mean, they got a couple of rounds for themselves, and it was kind of a. You could tell that it was very much, and we heard in the interview with Sean as well. It was very much a matter of we have practiced Chalet a lot, and that is a map that we are good at, and obviously we clearly saw that. So, I mean, how much do you think that's kind of a theme throughout our day so far, is kind of these teams being specifically good on certain maps? Do you think that's been...
I think on a game like this with so many angles and so many ways that you can just get shot in the face from, map knowledge is more important than anything. Whether you're good at 1v1ing people, winning gunfights, whether you're good at communication, all of it's pretty irrelevant if you don't know the maps. That is by far the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's great if you can aim, but if you don't know where you need to be aiming, then, I mean, what's the point, you know? So
it's all secondary to map knowledge in this game, I think.
And I think
more
as well,
so than any other game.
It's kind of like almost a second nature. When you see these players going through these rooms like systematically, you see them check each and every single corner that they know is a common spot. And that's kind of, when you're at this stage, when you're in the Pro League, you've got to be able to do that. You've got to know each and every corner. You've got to be able to check that each and every time perfectly.
Exactly.
Here we go then. So 2 minutes on the clock for this second round. This time it's going to be Aera on defense. They're feeling pretty comfortable so far. No kills on the board just yet for either team. And we're seeing Flamers very, very spread out attack here.
Yeah, they're definitely not playing together. I mean, not to say that they aren't using teamwork, but they're very one in each corner of the map, kind of.
Yeah, it's almost like they're looking for like tiny skirmishes rather than the kind of big.
It is risky though. It leaves them open to just kind of get picked one by one.
Yeah.
If they're not moving in perfectly in sync, then they're essentially just attacking one-on-one, or one at a time.
This is one of the things as well, is it's like, if you can get it so that you all come from different directions at the same time, then fantastic. You got a pincer going, they don't know where to look. Like, that's always going to be a great situation. But
that's very tough. It is tough to get everybody moving the same amount towards the point. We actually saw it in an earlier match where they had a perfect pinch. I forget which team it was, but they had a Twitch on one side, two on the other, and the Twitch was just too slow catching up, and it ended up just kind of being one at a time instead of a perfect pinch.
Yeah, they kind of trickle in and slowly but surely fall apart. I mean, that's one of the things as well later on in the Pro League that we're more likely to see more often. That is going to be the first kill of the round, though. LM's does manage to find a second one for himself. That MP5, man, is terrifying. Oh, there's another one coming through as well. In fact, that one's going to be from Boros. He didn't actually finish the kill off. Down but not out. Can't quite end that guy, but Thatcher going to be going down as well. There's another one for Evan.
Case in point. Case in point. It can work, but it's, I mean, you gotta be a team that knows each other very well and really has that synergy and that connection going.
Yeah, and as well, like, if you are in a situation where one person can get 2 kills, why is neither of you looking in that direction? That's the question you've got to pull up. It's like, if there's 2 of you, you've got to be covering different spots, and you've got to communicate that with your team as well, because otherwise, as we saw there, it can kind of slowly but surely fall apart. But Aera definitely not falling apart here. You can see solid teamwork coming through. 2 rounds on the trot now. They're going back onto that attacking side. So, I mean, right now, dat fLAM3RS, they can go to the same spots as they did before because they lost the first round. So, interesting that they go for this kind of basement, because the B site is very, very close to an external wall. Do you think that that makes it kind of very vulnerable?
I think it's a make or break type deal. If Bandit can win the little battery trick and win his Bandit plants, then B becomes a very great site, because now, like, the second those thermites are gone, you can start opening up everything to A, and now you have a fully fortified area where you just have to watch the stairs and in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's just extremely hard to push once that happens, if you can pull off the Bandit plants. Yeah, if you lose it the second there's a hole there, it becomes a much more difficult game, and I honestly think defending B mostly through A becomes the better push there.
Yeah, kind of just taking out that middle wall that's on your screen right now, and then, as you said before, kind of turning that into a shooting range almost, so you can just sit back and watch them come in. But
it's just it's kind of a high risk, high reward bomb site, you know.
And I think that's kind of it's interesting to see which nearly butterfingers that one, and
grenades
takes off his own
definitely
legs.
tricky to get them to do what you want in this game.
Yeah, it's kind of, if you don't get that bounce to go through the letterbox, it won't just roll through, because there's a little bit of a lip at the bottom. But he gets away with it.
Yep, there it is. It's open. So.
Oh, did that get? No, that got denied.
It's
oh no, yeah.
It's a glitch I believe they have getting fixed in a near pad. I think that it was in the last patch notes, but occasionally that can happen apparently, where
Okay,
it only thermites like part of the wall.
Okay, so tell me what I'm looking at right there. Is that something that we can see differently to him, or?
No, it's just a bug where for some reason sometimes thermite doesn't quite open the wall the way it's supposed to. It's not intended, and it is something they've addressed and something they're obviously aiming to fix. But yeah, like it worked in the other one.
Yeah, well, they managed to get the hole in the wall regardless. So to some extent, I would argue maybe a better side of the wall anyway, because you've got the cover from the fan as well.
Definitely like the right side of the middle. I prefer to open over the left. So.
Yeah, because
works out in the long run.
Yeah, so I guess they got away with it in the end. That is going to mean, though, thermite charges down. So, I mean, we do have 1 kill on the board already for Aera. So 2 rounds up, they're a kill up as well. They're feeling pretty darn confident.
A kill up with the garage open is a pretty good deal.
And as well,
2 kills.
Yeah, so there we go. And LMs always seems to be the player getting that first frag. He always seems to be the entry fragger. And I mean, you've played a lot of this game yourself.
Right.
Do you? Oh, we're gonna see like a pause for this one. Okay, we are actually gonna see a restart. I would assume that's to do with
that bug.
The bug, yeah. I mean, like that's pretty huge. If you lose one of those thermite charges, it's kind of, you know.
Yeah, but they were winning.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd have just taken it. If it was up to me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't really know the specifics of the rulings when it comes to that kind of thing. Obviously, that's all written in the rule book, but
and I mean, it's still a new game. This is the first pro tournament with it, and it is a bug they've acknowledged. They know it exists. Yeah, just something that didn't quite make it to the.
I'm sure there is something in the rule book specific to this, but that I mean, the rule book's for our referees to deal with. Yeah. I am but a mere commentator. I don't know all the ins and outs of like super specific.
We have better things to do, like mindlessly ramble about whatever.
I really love the little Scottish dinosaur he's got going on his monitor there as well. My little brother used to have one that looked exactly like that. I want to know if it's like the same one or not, but yeah, he used to like squeeze the belly and it'd sing some bizarre little jingle or whatever. But yeah, it looks like just trying to work out what's going on. I think in this scenario, I believe we'll be just kind of restarting the round, but continuing with previous score. So it'll be still 2-0 to Aera.
So just like a disconnect or anything else, you count where the rounds were at previously, but you start a new one.
Yeah, so it's going to be, we'll just be getting this underway again for you guys. But Aera with a very, very strong start. Flamers, less so. And I mean, I think we should kind of touch on the second map as well, because the second map's going to be Russian Kafe. Do you think this is maybe something that, again, Flamers have really focused on, maybe got some specific strategies, or do you think maybe it's kind of...
I feel...
Could it be that the Chalet was kind of their golden card, and now they're...
It's going to be tough for Flamers based on how much they've practiced these particular maps, because out of most of the maps, I think Consulate and Kafe are 2 that are very... They have a lot of niche things that can really make or break points. You know, just like that garage thing, you lose a bandit plant, you lose a garage. It's at that point you just have to play better with gunfights. If you're not winning gunfights, then you're not winning. Yeah. You know, it's no longer about where your defense strategy is. It's more you just have to get better picks than the attacking team, which becomes much more difficult.
Yeah. And so much more pressure as well, let's remember, because like these guys are playing on stage. You don't want to be putting yourself in a situation where it's like, if I miss this shot, then we lose the game.
Exactly.
That's going to make you miss the shot, that kind of pressure.
Yeah, like definitely. No, it's definitely different. And I'm sure it's an adjustment to go from playing on the internet to playing locally on a LAN. It's whether you have a low ping or a high ping, it's still a game changer to come to essentially effectively no ping at all.
Yeah, yeah.
And it really changes people's gameplay and, you know, mixes it up a lot.
Okay, so looks like...
Now, he says happens so often with Thermite, but I really wouldn't call it enough. I've got 300 hours in the game, and I've seen that happen maybe one time.
I mean...
And I play Thermite.
I said I haven't actually seen that bug before, and I've put a good lot of hours into the game as well. So it's like, I don't think it's that common, but I could imagine it being pretty frustrating.
Oh, definitely. Like, especially when you're
trying to climb the ladder and it's like, oh, great. but as you say, that is being addressed anyway.
Right. It's already been addressed and know about it. It's definitely something on the list to fix. I thought it actually made it in the last patch, but maybe it is actually the next one.
Yeah, it could be a matter of maybe just like occasionally slipping through as well, maybe. But anyway,
we got the same setup. same deal. Let's see. I guess it gives Bandit a chance to try and win it again.
So I think for this round, they have to run the same setup because it's going to completely restart the round.
Remake, you can't change anything. Makes sense.
Let's see how they are going to go in onto this one. And whether they kind of change up that strategy, whether we see, as you say, kind of that Bandit interaction, picking up the battery, putting it down again, see whether they're going to be able to win out that little almost mind game that comes out between him and Thatcher.
I would love us to get over to there. There he is. Oh, they already got it open. I guess
that's our answer.
Guess it didn't go so well.
So, that's going to be Revan picking up the first one onto Boros. So nice little pick for them, and that's going to be Frost as well. Now, Frost has been absolutely instrumental for defenders across the tournament today.
Right.
Like, how much of an impact do you think, like, say you're on Flamers right now, does the fact that it's Frost going down really kind of impact your momentum, I suppose?
I would say combined with having the garage open and losing, you know, that shotgun, that beastly shotgun, they're sweating a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially their setup right now looks like they were all kind of camping around B, which is totally going to, with Ash closing in on them on the side, it's totally going to end up with a hell of a pinch. And there's not much they can do about it at this point. Not like they can really back off. They don't really have anywhere else to go at this point, so it's kind of just play it out and hope for the best.
Yeah, they're going to be praying to whatever god they choose right now. As Aera slowly but surely start to close that vice grip. However, they're only one man down, so this is definitely not all done for the Flamers. They're not in a great spot, but
it's not good positioning, but they are is still 4-5.
We've seen some crazy rounds happen, and there we go. That is going to be the equalizer. So actually, another member from Flamers has been dropped. So Revan, with his second kill of the round, is going to equalize. Oh, not even equalize, getting them the advantage again. Sorry. Bandit as well, flashing health bar.
Yeah, looks like under 10.
He's not feeling too confident. That's going to be Torok again with another headshot coming through. The MP5s just seem like laser cannons.
It's a very low recoil, so it's very, you know, not the highest rate of fire, not like the P90, but so little recoil that it's very easy to really get it on someone's face and pop it.
And especially with like the ACOG as well, it's very easy to land those shots, but that's going to be another one down but not out. That's going to be Rook, so I mean, kind of to an extent when you're Rook, once you've got that armor down, it's kind of your job done. Obviously, it's a good operator to have around, but not the worst one to drop. However, when he's the last man...
Oh, we saw him.
Here we go. Let's have a look at Torok. I want to see from Torok's point of view if we can, as he is the last man remaining, but he is going to go down, in fact. LM's...
His point of view is lights out, dirt nap.
Yeah, there is no point of view right now. He's all out of eyeballs as he's going to get dropped to that headshot. That was a bit of a messy spray. Not going to lie, not the cleanest kill I've ever seen.
That's one of those skip. Don't watch the replay.
Yeah, quick, no one watched this. Everyone close your eyes.
Got the kill, so.
Certainly did. And that is going to be LM's, again, 3 kills in that round. I don't know his total score now.
Panic's is just hanging out. Panic's about to drop it again.
I want to see whether or not Panic's like just explodes in this last round. Just like, hey, hang on, I need to be at the top of the scoreboard. Just like goes crazy, but here we go. We are going to see him. I assume it's him on smoke.
It is him on smoke.
Yeah, it's him on smoke. So he's going to have that SMG in his right hand. And we'll see. I mean, Flamers right now, they're 3-0 down. That is not a great spot to be in. Right now, you're 2 rounds away from match point.
Yeah.
Like when you're playing, because obviously you play this like all the time. When you're down in this situation and you're kind of 1-2 games away from match point, what is your kind of? Are you the guy on your team that will be like, okay, guys, we've got to get this together? Are you the motivator?
I'm trying to find a new mouse and headset because I just broke the last one.
Threw them out of the window.
I'm that one. I'm yelling at my Twitch chat, screaming at the people in my game, and walking around opening and closing kitchen cabinet doors because I'm so angry and I don't know what else to do.
What do you mean he sponged the shot? Yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah. I can definitely relate to that. I like to think that I'm the guy like, come on guys, we still got this, but it's just simply not true.
Keep your head in the game, guys. Keep it cool. No.
There we go. That's going to be Elation picking up the first one with that F2. The Famas just terrifyingly good.
And that's at my house. That's not on a stage. On a stage, worse, probably.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've seen like the major esports tournaments. You've seen how passionate the players get.
Right.
Imagine like when everything's on the line, you're on that stage, tensions are going to be high.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, it's the first 2 matches of the season, so they've got some time to recover if it doesn't work out so well. They've clearly showed they can pull it together with their first game.
I think like a huge part of it is the amount of prep they put into Chalet. So if they can translate that into other maps as well, they're going to be looking so strong later.
It's all map knowledge. All the rest falls into place after. Obviously, you need it. You need to have strong players that can aim well. You need to have good communication. But until you have the map knowledge, you might as well not even do the other stuff.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Let's see if the map knowledge is going to be enough, as it's 4 versus 4 now. That's going to be Revan. I feel like I'm saying it's going to be Revan grabbing the kills so many times. Yep. He's definitely kind of point man here for Aera, especially near the starts of the rounds.
Who did we lose from Aera already? I didn't even see that one.
I can't tell because
it must have been a trade though.
Aera is like at the start of their name, so I don't have like a short version at the top of the screen, so it's hard to say.
Oh, it's Pulse.
Okay, so that's kind of a big deal actually, losing Pulse early on, because if you've gone for Pulse, then you're kind of relying on that intel to come through for the rest of the round.
Right.
But I mean, let's take a look at the defensive positions here from Aera. Do you think this kind of, it's a very wide spread, and we've got 2 players that are very far away from the bomb sites in general. Do you think that could be detrimental to them?
I mean, at this point, I think mixing it up isn't. Oh, sorry. No. I honestly, I don't know. You know, it's something. I mean, something that's clearly working for him right now.
Sometimes you just don't know, you know.
But especially with Revan just walking in there and
just strolling in and just getting kills, taking names.
I think that more often than not, most of the better teams do spread pretty far from the bomb site. A lot don't play too close, but it really depends on how it's going.
Cooks the grenade, picks up one. Oh,
got the trade though, so that's done. That's over.
Yeah, I think that's round, isn't it? So, well, the defuse is going to come on through. I was wondering why the round didn't end, just because the bomb was planted. Right. But that is going to be Aera taking yet another round. I believe that's their 4th one now.
So it's match point.
I mean, Aera, we saw dat fLAM3RS for the first time in the Pro League managed to take a 5-0 map. Aera are kind of saying, anything you can do, we can do better. So let's head into
let's get that 0-5 on them too.
Yeah, let's head up to Consulate and see who the big men are. But I mean, fLAM3RS, they've got their work cut out right now. Obviously, in case you've only just joined us, the reason it says 2+2, we did have to have a game restart due to an in-game bug, but it is 4-0, let me assure you, in favor of Aera, and now they're going to be on that attacking side. Now, on this map specifically, would you say attackers or defenders typically have an advantage here?
Like we were saying earlier, I think that honestly, with the exception of the harder maps like Oregon and Plain, which are honestly hard for attackers for completely opposite reasons, I think that most of the maps have the advantage for attackers when you have a full team that plays together and trains together constantly with like full synergy. You know, if you're just queuing up by yourself and playing with other people, probably defending, because it's a lot more based on your own personal performance, whereas attacking is made or broken by the team entirely, and their ability to communicate, their ability to know like how aggressive each one of them is and how to move with each other and not just on their own going for kills.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier about you've got to build up that synergy. You've got to be able to communicate with your team and let everyone know.
And get the grenades through the
and land the grenades
drone holes.
The, I want to call them letterboxes. They feel like letterboxes, cat flaps, I suppose. Drone flaps.
I like the little irrigation flaps.
I feel like I just want to nickname stuff. Maybe I'm just weird. I'm going to see the drones just scouting on through. And this is something we've seen a little bit less of later on in the day, is kind of at the start of the day, maybe it was just teams a little bit more nervous first getting on stage, like using drones 24/7. But look at the spray down coming out from the pistol. Doesn't quite finish off the kill though. It's going to make it 2 versus 4 in favor of the fLAM3RS. They're actually managing to get something on the board. I think right now for the fLAM3RS, priority number 1 is don't get 5-0'd.
Yeah.
After that stellar performance.
Kind of negates the 5-0 they got if they turn around and get 5-0'd, you know?
Yeah, so. I mean, here we go. It's just going to be Sledge and Thatcher remaining. Drone just going to get completely denied here as fLAM3RS.
Which this is, even with having that open, it's going to be tough at this point. As long as the fLAM3RS don't peek. They have no reason to peek.
Yeah.
Minute 30 left, 4 versus 2. No reason for them to do anything except wait.
Yeah, I mean, just let Aera walk into your crosshair. Literally, all you have to do is press the trigger.
Aera has to either relocate to the complete other side of the map where they have no idea where anyone is, or start hitting the drop downs, which may or may not be reinforced. I didn't catch that. Or try to push through the garage, which is well covered.
Nice breaches going out here just to make sure that there's no corners going to be able to kind of stay in. But
I don't know if I would have stood on top of it after I breached it. Not the best move there.
Maybe be a little bit more cautious if you're going to blow a hole in the floor there. Here we go. Last man, Aera right now, undead. It's all on you, buddy. Can you get the 5-0? He's got the SMG-11.
I feel like it's Sledge in the Dream a lot, you know? If there's one guy left up for some reason, it's Sledge a lot.
One man, one hammer. Here we go. Can you do a movie voice?
You like the one for
like the
movie
trailer voice?
Like this summer,
one man, one hammer. Sledge versus the world. I don't know. I feel like we're maybe overhyping it. Yeah. He's in 1 versus 4. Well, I mean, we'll see if he can
14 seconds, can't hit the drop down. I don't think he can. Oh, okay. I stand. I'll shut my mouth.
Yeah, well, there you go. There we go.
Can I just say, 1 versus 4, hitting a drop down never works. They're always covered, and you can't react. Like, you fall so slow. You know, like Rainbow Six physics is like very, very slow little descent. Yeah. Like you kind of gotta. Yeah. I don't know, like an oversized coat on or something, and it catches you down.
It's like Mary Poppins' umbrella. You just like float down. Oh god. It's like when you get the
C4s too. They're very like very floaty, you know.
It's like attached to a balloon. It's like bob it across the room. Here we go. Dat flamers. They managed to get a point on the board, and that's the important thing here.
Panic's doing a little smoke remodeling. Busting out his little Sims practice and stuff.
Gonna be punching the holes in the walls. Going for the top floor here with the bomb site. So something we've seen a little bit less. It seems to be like a secondary plant location from what I seem to remember from this game. It's kind of obviously each and every map seems to have like 2 major spawn points that the defenders go for, and you kind of alternate between. What do you think? This is kind of. Do you think the basement's stronger than this one? Do you prefer this one? What's your personal take?
Again, I think the basement's the high risk, high reward plan. You know, this might be just a little more generally. Just play it. You know, like reinforce what you need to reinforce, open what you need to open, and then kind of just play it. Whereas the basement is a super easy win if you manage to out thermite, but an extremely difficult win if they open that garage.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a much more high risk, high reward.
I feel like that's very similar on a lot of maps. There's a lot of garages or garages. Or,
yeah. Check out that American accent.
Yeah, casting from across the pond. But, yeah, there's a lot of kind of garages in this game where it always feels like that garage is just such a crucial
garage.
Or the garage is such a crucial way into the map. It's like make or break if you can get that Thatcher plant down.
Because they're always right next to the objective. You know, like, so if you can get in there, then...
And as well, it's wide open. Like,
it's wide, so when you plant right in front of it, you can go all the way back outside.
Yeah. And you can just, like, sit your thermite or glass if it's a map that's appropriate for it, just, like, way, way back and just look on in, and the second any defender moves, just...
And as you see, the defenders here, they're very spread. Most of them aren't playing anywhere near the points at all. I think they have 1 guy in B, and the rest are all playing kill holes, spread out to the top. Oh. It's, I feel like these ones, you know, it's much more just, if you have kind of an idea of where everyone's watching, then it doesn't really matter what the attacking team does.
Yeah. And as well, it's when you're playing this kind of spread out style, it's all about call-outs. You've got to be watching your team back, and that is a perfect example of watching your team's backs. Like, one guy is there, but his teammate is watching that corner, and it's going to be traded back across. Oh, the full flash. I don't even know who's winning this fight at this point. But actually, interestingly, we've got an IQ, something we've not actually touched on.
Yeah, I don't know why IQ keeps going up. I don't.
From what I've heard, talking to people, it's just a matter of
the gun.
It being a fast character and the gun that you have.
Right.
More than the actual gadget itself. Because, let's be honest, it's not that great.
It's not good.
You can see through smoke.
Not that great is really giving it a lot of credit. I mean, I guess it's kind of a pulse hunter.
Yeah.
You can see pulse with it, but
you can see through smoke grenades as well.
Right.
So, like, situationally.
But she's cute too, so that that works in favor.
That's always going to be like. I mean, when I'm drafting a composition, it's all about how cute the operator is. Like,
Sledge is kind of ugly. I don't know if we need him.
It's like what my team has, and then the fashion kind of
those shoes.
stance of
She's
each.
got those purplish pink shoes, and that says a lot about like.
I really feel like Hild would have been better here.
Right, like I'm so confident I'm not.
I feel like we should have been kind of commentating that, but there we go.
Kind of the
talking about shoes.
Carried away with the shoes.
But here we go.
That is it, though.
Yeah, we're going to be going into round 5. I believe that was Flamers.
Yeah, that was
Flamers. Take that one.
That's our bad.
But there we go. So 4-2 now.
So Flamers did not get 5-0. They are officially making. Oh, I'm sorry. That was last match. Yeah, 2-2. So they're keeping it nice and even.
No, well, it's 4-2 because it's +2, isn't it?
No, we're. Wow, I'm. What happened?
It's just kind of gone.
There it is. It's back.
It's
I'm less confused now. It went away for a second.
Yeah, it's that's our.
So yeah, so they've finally rectified. They didn't get 5-0'd.
Yeah.
So good for them there.
And they're halfway to the equalizer right now.
Right.
Halfway to pushing into overtime. And actually, this is the point where it's kind of like, okay, you've survived the 0-4. Now it's Flamers kind of with a little bit of momentum. And
now
it's going to be Aera.
Momentum, right?
Yeah, Aera are the ones that kind of have to make sure that they don't kind of tilt
shivering in their
this.
boots or their purple sneakers. Let's not talk about this.
Shimmering in their
purple IQ shoes.
See, maybe this is the next step for Rainbow. Shoe skins.
Definitely, yeah.
That's got to be it.
Those would be a hit.
The competitive integrity, I feel, comes second to shoe skins, in my opinion. As a fashion-conscious gentleman myself.
Yeah. Now, one thing I would like to point out, yet again, just to really drive it home, is haven't seen a lot of peaks from the defending teams. A lot of window peaks, which I think is a testament to. There's a lot of back and forth about whether it's an unbalanced tactic to peak windows at the start, or or if it's a cheap tactic,
whether
or
it's
something
teased,
it's unfair. Yeah. But clearly, the pro teams know that you do not have the advantage peaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might get a cheesy kill, but those people aren't paying attention. If you're paying attention, if your mind is in the game when you start, then you're not going to get...
The thing is as well, like, these guys have so many hours on the game. They know what windows are going to be the ones you go for. They know the spots.
And they know once the game is live, you're playing. You know, it's not after you touch the building, now the defenders can kill you. So the first kill goes to Aera.
It does indeed. That's going to be
But they got the trade. Not necessarily trade, but they did...
even it up.
Even it up.
It certainly did. And actually, we're going to see Jaeger flashing red as well. I hate that when you're playing Sledge and you only get the window. You get the barricade. That is like the worst feeling.
Something about that glass, man. It stops the skeleton key on Buck. It stops the Sledge. It's brutal. It's strong glass.
I think it's when you hit the frame specifically.
Right.
It kind of screws with you a little bit. But also the Sledge can be a little bit finicky if you're like pulling away as you hit. You've kind of got to get that frame perfect to be able to get fully out of the way by the time the barricade's gone.
Definitely.
And still hit the barricade.
So 3-4, 4-3, however you want to say it. The minute left.
Yeah, kind of a slow. I mean, we've had a couple of early kills, but other than that, still a minute left on the round, so fairly slow pace.
I think they've got Aera nervous with the comeback.
Yeah.
And with under a minute left and still 7 people, that's kind of in the... Even though they're down a player, it's sort of leaning more towards their advantage.
Well, the Flamers, they need to start to get a wiggle on here because they've got 40 seconds to play with, which in the grand scheme of things ain't that much time. They need to start to make their mark on this map, and looks like they're going to push forward. Gets hurt. Does manage to dodge underneath those bullets, doing his very best Neo impression right there.
Yeah, it's pretty solid time.
Revan does find one though, so in the end is going to get caught out. Look at this, 2 defenders left. Can they make it happen? It's not looking great, to be quite honest. That's going to be him.
I'm going to go with the no, they cannot. Nope.
Yeah.
There it is. But hey, they didn't get 5-0'd, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, they turned it into a 5-2.
It was a good comeback for a minute there. They lost momentum a little bit.
It was looking shaky, let's be honest, for the first 4 rounds.
Right.
They did manage to get a couple of rounds back in their favor, so not
they
all
definitely
is
brought
lost.
it back a little, yeah.
Kind of saving their dignity somewhat.
And they were the underdog, too. And they definitely came in real strong and still held their own, so. And we still have one more map, too. Who knows? Maybe their Kafe's on their list of maps they've trained more for.
Yeah, so we're going into the Russian Kafe. Now, I find, like, the Russian Kafe is, like, I mean, first of all, I'm a big fan of trains, so I just love the Russian Kafe.
I like trains.
I just go into the, just go into, like, the train room, just treat it as a museum.
Right.
And then my team's like, Rook, can you put down the armor, please? I'm like, oh, yeah. I forgot I was playing Siege for a second there. So
you put it down, pick it up for yourself, and break it. Say, there's your armor.
Yeah.
What, I got mine.
That's what you get when you sass me. Oh, God.
It's, I mean, not my favorite map. It's honestly between that one and Bank. Bank's just very open to me, and that one's just confusing to me. And also fairly open, just like Bank.
It is kind of a winding network of
a lot
rooms.
of weird angles. A lot of weird angles. It's another one of those maps where you can use second floor drop downs out first floor windows to hit people on the ground and stuff like that. And it's very can get very confusing to try to keep track of all the different ways you can die from.
Yeah, it's like watching all of the different angles can kind of get you dizzy.
Right.
Sometimes it's a whole lot of different ways you got to be looking all at the same time. But I mean, talking about Kafe specifically, do you think there's any special operators we might seeing out? Like, is this a map that we maybe see Glaz on, or are we going to see maybe Blitz again that we saw earlier on?
Maybe Glaz, maybe. The Blitz, I'm honestly still surprised we saw as much as we did, honestly. Out of all the shield operators, like, Montaigne brings a team element, but the recruit shield has grenades and is much more versatile and a little faster. Blitz, I don't really see the purpose of, and I've barely, even when they have picked him and have even gotten some kills with him, rarely seen him get off with like a good flash or anything like that. And so I'm very surprised that he's been picked at all, honestly.
Yeah.
But he's a fun operator to use, but I just don't see his competitive play value.
I feel like it's maybe you gotta have lightning reactions. I mean, appropriately to his icon, you gotta have the the lightning reactions.
You gotta blitz.
Yeah, but you gotta be able to, when someone peeks out, be ready with that flash and actually catch them. And then at that point, if you can do that, you have that same advantage that Montaigne has of just being able to push forwards and be able to gain a whole lot of ground. But here we go with the second map of this matchup. It is the Flamers up against Aera. Aera 1-0 in this series with a 5-2 victory on our first map. But here we go with the Russian Kafe.
So there's an IQ again. There he is, always popping in Chi. And I'm not too surprised about the defender thing. Again, I'm very surprised how often Doc has been picked today as well. I expected to see a lot of Doc on Xbox when we start covering them. But I'm very surprised to see so much Doc on PC. And I haven't seen Doc pick anybody up.
No,
not often anyway.
I think one thing about Doc as well is you have a lot of armor. So you can kind of go for some of those trades that other operators might not really want to go for. Like if you can go for a straight firefight, especially with Rook on your side as well, if you can find yourself in a position where it's going to be hard for them to headshot you, you could maybe find an advantage off the back of your passive, but it's definitely very situational.
Like we covered before too, I mean, you can effectively do that with Kapkan as well with a much better gun. I mean, I definitely think the Russian operators have awesome, awesome guns.
That's one point we've seen very, very little, if any, Kapkan today.
I don't think we've seen any today.
I don't remember seeing any. And if you don't either, that covers all games. So
yeah,
it's safe to say we haven't.
Say we didn't.
But I mean, Kapkan can be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Like, it's very easy to see where the traps are.
But you have to, I mean, today we've seen a lot of last minute, like under 30-second pushes, and that's where Kapkan can really shine, because then it's kind of, whether you know it's there or not, too bad. Like, you don't have time. You have to push into the room. So if it's just sitting there right around the objective and there's 20 seconds left, you don't really have a whole lot of time to be like, you know, shooting out the little Kapkan trap or trying to get around it or EMP it or whatever. It's kind of it catches people off guard in that scenario.
It's like, okay, I've got to make things happen right now. So, I mean, maybe we'll see that later on today. I can't say I'm really expecting that necessarily.
No, not really.
But again, the IQ coming out here, like I said earlier, this is...
That's a lot of surprise to me because it's... If you like IQ's gun, it's very... Like, the 5.52 is very similar to Thermite's gun. I think the AUG, after the control rebalance it got, has become a lot better of a weapon.
I think it's just a matter of IQ being one of the, like, lowest armor, highest speed operators, whereas Thermite is, I think, 2-2, if I'm correct. So it's kind of like a different playstyle, I suppose.
Yeah.
And as well, I think IQ...
Cut into the kill hole. Distracted by the kill hole.
Revan again with the first kill. Like, every round, man, this guy is absolutely on it for Aera. And that's going to be enemy as well. Frost chiming in with that Super 90. Super being the operative word. Here we go. So that's going to be, that really kind of, I mean, we've been talking about spanners in the works today. That is definitely a spanner in the works for the Flamers, because 3 versus 5 when you're on the attack, 2 versus 5 now when you're on the attack. Yeah. 1 versus 5 when you're on the attack.
As you were saying.
I mean, you were saying you like Thermite's gun. Let's see how much Boros likes it, because...
Just get on him. Oh, he's dead. That's a Super 90 mess today right there.
Super 90, more like Super Methy. I don't know what that was.
I hated that worse than the other pun.
Sorry. The longer the day goes on, the worse I get at just like terrible puns.
And that
terrible
teapot
jokes.
comment thing. Yeah.
I wish I'd said that instead of the like weird.
You know, people started tweeting out pictures of my facial expression.
I saw that. I found that hilarious. But here we go. So it is going to be another round here for Aera. So 1-0 in their favor. And Flamers on the defending side here. So let's see whether the Flamers have a bit of a better kind of grasp on this map to what they had on Consulate.
Yeah, that attack was rough, so hopefully they can bring it together with a good defense.
Yeah.
Words are tough.
I want to see a really close game here as well. I want to see, I want to see the Flamers that we saw in their first game of the day.
I don't know if, you know, it was kind of got it off early, didn't save it for the whole day. They just kind of ran it out the first round.
Kind of like win the first on 5-0 and like, we're done. Yeah. I don't care.
They stepped away, pouring sweat, just, crap.
1 for 3 is good enough for me. We got the 5-0. I'm good.
I don't know. I want to see him bring it back with the defense and then come in hard on an attack.
Yeah. But, well, I mean, let's see how they go. I love it when you see players do that. Just go for a pot shot through a wall. Like maybe I get a headshot. Like, what do I lose?
And we had one solid earlier today. He just kind of shot 2 spots, got a guy in the face, you know?
It's like the best feeling.
Oh, there's just nothing better.
He's just like, through a wall, just like, there's a guy. Nice. Great.
That or SMG-11 kills in Glass. It just feels very dirty. When you, rip Glass's face with an SMG-11, it's just not fair.
What sniper? ACOG for life. But here we go, Twitch.
Oh, he definitely hit him. That guy's
he tagged
a little
down
confused
Pulse
right now. He's trying to shoot back.
Pulse, like, can you not? Like,
is that Pulse?
Well, Pulse is the only one that's lost health, so I've got to assume it was.
No, you're right. But so Pulse could actually see him through the wall and didn't get him. There we go.
Well, there we go. He's down for the count right there.
You'd think in the game of shooting people through the floor, Pulse would have maybe had a better shot there.
You would think that's kind of something he would excel at, but there we go. Smashing away those windows. And the barricades, no less. But Aera down 3 versus 4 here. So Flamers with an advantage. And on the defensive side, I definitely feel like that's a huge deal for them.
That's a very big deal.
I was going to say they should be
half the time
with a shot
down a player.
I feel like even if you're even, defenders typically kind of have somewhat of an advantage because
as the timer runs down, as you're even, the less players there are, the more it's defender oriented, even when they're even, I think.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, they have to go into you. It's your game. Like, you've set up the traps. It's like Home Alone. Like Kevin always had the advantage on the sticky bandits.
And now it's 2-3, so they definitely have the advantage.
Here we go.
Look at that
nice little headshot.
He was so ready for that one. I don't know if he heard him or what.
Yeah, I think it might have been call-outs. I'm not 100% sure, but Very, very nice little... It might have just been purely, like, map presence, like, knowing that this is going to be a spot that's going to get checked.
Right, right.
Here we go, 2 versus 2. Jaeger and Rook up against Siege, or Sledge, sorry, and Ash. We'll see whether they can turn the Flamers into Ash.
Seconds, so it's going to start moving real quick.
Sorry. But here we go, time to push on in. 12 seconds left on the clock. This is going to be the time where Aera have to make something happen, and they have managed to get that diffuser down over on the A side.
I didn't even see him get in.
No, I didn't either. I was like, wait, what? Okay, fair enough. I thought that round was just about over. But here we go. The bomb's down. That's going to be Revan again. That's his 3rd of the round, I think.
Once you get the bomb plant, that defender-sided 2 versus 2 very quickly becomes an attacker-sided 2 versus 2.
Yeah. Let's see. Torok on his own. Can he land the shots with that MP5? He's got to make something happen. He's running out of time here, so he's got to find these players soon, but he has been spotted out. Oh, nice little shot out of Torok with the pistol as well. I think he's going for the defuse. Cancels it. Oh. I thought he was going to get that with a hip fire for a second. I was very kind of not sure of what quite was going on, but
yeah, no,
nice
that changed a little bit on me. We missed it a little.
And there we go. So that is going to be again Aera grabbing a second. I thought that was going to be a round for Flamers. I honestly thought
it looked like it. They had the upper hand the whole game, and then kind of somehow let them plant. So.
Kind of like slipped through their fingers.
Yeah. That's definitely a ninja plant.
Playing against Aera is like trying to hold sand. It's just never going to happen. That's what my grandma always used to tell me.
Well, I mean, Aera they tied their initial games against, who they played before? I don't even. But I think what...
I'll have to glance through my notes. My
right.
memory is
G-Bots, I believe, is the only one that's actually 2-0'd.
Yeah, G-Bots are the only one with a 2-0 so far. So Aera, if G-Bots tie later on today, in fact, I think G-Bots is our next match. If they tie up against Penta, I believe they're going up against, which is going to be, first of all, a hype match. Like, that's going to be amazing. Then we could see a tie between Aera and G-Bots. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Aera, I mean, they've still got 3 rounds to go. Less than halfway here. But again, I feel like we've got a very, very staple meta now in terms of operators that we're going to see.
Definitely. With attackers, it's always more or less the same 4. And then I guess for some reason, Twitch is the expendable. I personally would rotate out Sledge before Twitch. I know he can make a lot of holes, but I just think that Twitch has too good of a gun not to use.
I think one of the things as well about making holes is like, there are very few operators that can't make holes.
Right.
Like, it's not something that's, like, while it is quicker and it is easier on, like, Sledge or Ash, like, most of the operators can go at least breach and charge. You're gonna be able to find ways in, but, I mean, as well, you've got the argument of, like, signal jammers and things like that can't block a Sledge, because, like, I mean, any AMP.
But when was the last time you saw Mute in a competitive match?
True.
I haven't seen him.
Yeah, I think that's a lot down as well to kind of, signal jammer just seems less effective than the battery when it comes to denying thermite, and even with the signal jammers, you're not going to block the scouting from the drones, really. So it's kind of, there's not huge reasons to go for Mute, I feel like.
Right.
Or at least in my opinion. But I mean, maybe that's something we see later on in the Pro League. Because I mean, we've seen these kind of back and forths between Bandit and Thermite, like trying to get the plant down and trying to deny the plant with the batteries. Like maybe that continues to evolve, and suddenly kind of Signal Disruptor might become a more effective way to do that trade. We'll have to see.
Coming down to another match where it's gonna be under a minute with 9 players left, I stand corrected.
Super 90 comes right in. There we go. That is, again, Super 90, as you say, coming on through, making those picks.
Don't even address it by the player or it's just the Super 90.
It's an entity in itself.
Yeah.
Here we go. Flamers down to 3 players. I want to see them push aggressively here. I want to see them really kind of put their foot on the accelerator pedal. That's what I want to see. Peaksaw actually walking on in. It grabs 2 headshots for himself.
Consecutive headshots.
That's going to be the plant as well. So that's going to be, or I think they have the diffuser there. I'm not 100% sure who has that one. Looks like Thermite has it. Panic's going to get tagged out there. Still on his feet, though. Does manage to duck on down. Needs to be careful, actually, Ash here. Will go down. I think a little bit overzealous on that one, but traded straight back across. So LM's going to go down. 2 versus 2 now. But the diffuser still hasn't been planted yet. And they've got 5 seconds. They actually have to make something happen right now. They needed to get that diffuser down when they first broke it.
Felt to being out of time.
What just happened?
Wow, they just didn't. They didn't, is what happened.
I mean,
there's no way one guy can cover both sides.
I don't have an explanation for that.
Yeah, I kind of wish we saw what maybe Thermite wasn't paying attention to the clock and lack of comms. That was I'm very surprised.
Yeah.
There's only one defender up. He can't defend both the sites.
It's got to be miscommunication, surely, because I mean they just charged on in, and we saw just immediately 2 straight up headshots, just like, okay, this is my site now, and then kind of just like, is it though?
Forgot to put the bomb there.
Thermite was like,
Forgot to
I
put
don't know
the
if this is
diffuser.
our site. I'm not really one for like taking. I'd rather go and ask the rest of the guys first if it's okay if we plan.
Right.
And then didn't. Obviously didn't get permission.
So Aera going back to the Fae 5. There they are. Sledge, Twitch, Thatcher.
We've got a Pulse as well.
Pulse is back, yep. Doc is gone.
Back on the scene. We've seen very little Book today as well. That's one thing I've noticed. Is kind of we've seen a couple of instances of Book coming into play, but not really.
Who?
Buck.
Oh, Buck. Yeah. It was actually just as Simon covered earlier. Like he's kind of an underpowered, sort of weaker operator that they're looking at. You know, so it was surprising to actually see him take the place of Twitch earlier today. But I think that was the only game that one.
Yeah, I think we saw like 2, maybe 3 rounds, if that.
Yeah.
That's kind of underwhelming, to be honest. But I mean, who knows? Maybe we see that in the future. Maybe that's something that gets changed in future patches. We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, even if his ability doesn't quite push people in the same, it does give you kind of that long and close range ability.
There's definite merit to the shotgun as well, because I mean, like, especially, obviously this is the highest level in Europe team play.
Yeah.
So, like, in terms of matchmaking, you're not necessarily going to see the exact same stuff that you're going to be seeing here today. This is very, very different circumstances. So, in terms of matchmaking, like, you're spraying through a wall, you run out of ammo, you can immediately swap to that shotgun for when they peak. It's fantastic.
Right.
But there we go.
First kill goes to Flamers in this one.
Which is very important, I think, because the first kill is something they've been losing out on.
Right.
In these
They've been
rounds.
playing at a disadvantage for most of the games. Yeah, and last time they almost had it on defense and just kind of let it slide. So hopefully they can bring it together in this one.
This is going to be kind of, I think right now this is deal breaker for Flamers, because if they don't win this round,
it'll be much harder on attack.
They have a straight up reverse sweep that they have to get into over time. So it's kind of, you know, a little bit of a tall order, to say the least.
Right. Once again, they're facing that 5-0.
Yeah, it's
not dream. Nightmare.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's never a place you want to be. It's kind of, this is the situation where in matchmaking, if you're 3-0 down, oh, nice little kill. That's actually really good for Flamers. They're looking for more. Look at that.
5-2.
Elation with 3. He's just like, no.
The MP7 is a beast. I mean, that gun is so easy to control, high rate of fire. It just shreds people's heads.
It really does. And, I mean, you just saw
it's now 5-1. I mean, if they don't get this one, I'd like to say, yeah, that was a complete 5-0. They just
team ace
didn't lose a single player.
Very nice. And this is what we need to see. And this is kind of the thing that I want to be seeing out of Flamers. It's kind of all on the line
They have
now.
it there. They're just not consistent, you know?
And, like, we've seen twice now, players from Flamers just step up and just dominate players from Aera. So, like,
that was a hell of a play.
When you're already 3 rounds down, that's the kind of thing that you've got to be bringing to the table. You've got to make those plays and you've got to make things happen.
Right.
We're going to see that in that round, and now that's going to kind of alleviate at least some of the pressure, because it's no longer just going to be turning into a 4-0. It's now 1-3. There's only a 2-round difference, which definitely sounds a lot more manageable than a 4-round difference.
Definitely.
It's like... I
think twice as manageable even,
yeah, you might be right on that one. That's some excellent arithmetic, my friend.
I took math once.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's better than me. Math was never one of my favorites.
Oh, I didn't say I did well.
Yeah, I just took it. That's true. That is true. Well, I mean, I did okay in maths, actually.
They just keep bringing back IQ. I don't get it. Well, they need more devices. They need...
I mean, with the amount of IQ they're bringing to the table, they're definitely going to be good at maths, at least.
That's true.
But whether or not they're going to Rainbow Six Siege is a different matter entirely. Not a whole lot of mathematics comes into play. But hey.
I don't know, the compass and protractor helps for all the angles, I think.
Yeah?
So, yeah. A lot of angles to be played.
It's kind of just like, hey guys, can we just pause? I need to get out my measurement equipment. I don't think that often happens. I feel like most of the time I just live in a completely different world to the rest of like players on this game. But here we go. The attack is
finally inside. Finally inside.
Into the building and very enemy. Very.
Enemy knows he's not in a good spot there.
Yeah.
Moved. He's out.
I think he...
And honestly, it's almost better because he's going to sit there looking for him for a while. And...
Yeah. You kind of stall that player. Kind of. They don't... He's out of earshot on where he went.
Take a couple shots and run, and that attacker's probably going to sit there and look around for you for a while.
Yeah.
And with the 3-minute timer instead of 4, that matters.
Yeah, it really does.
Especially when you know it's pulse.
Well, 1 minute and 30 on the clock. 5 players remaining for each. Although, could see enemy. Enemy again seems to just be like diving between cover, dodging bullets right now. Oh,
got him
nice
with the prone peek.
Yeah. So there we go. Headshot as well, so no chance of him being picked up.
You do not see the prone peek like that work very often. No. Not at all. But he totally caught him off guard there.
The thing is, like, with this game, there's a lot of, like, dashing between cover, like, just going for 1 second peeks. You can't do that if you're prone, but that is going to be Revan as well, chiming in with a headshot of his own. That's going to be 3 versus 5 now, so dat fLAM is on the attack. Kind of on the back foot once again here. I mean, what do you feel like the Flamers need to change up here? Because this is a consistent thing that we're seeing them drop players at the start of the round.
I think it might be, honestly, once again, it sounds like a broken record, but it doesn't seem like they have the map down. Because I feel like a lot of players can defend better than attack on a map they aren't as comfortable on.
Yeah. Attacking
is definitely something you need to know exactly where you want to be going and looking. And if they don't really have the playtime on the map, then they're going to have a really hard time.
I think one key thing that maybe isn't here for all of the teams just yet, but I think will be by the end of the Pro League, is kind of not just where you want to attack, not just what operators, but also kind of like attack route. Like this person is going to gadget here, followed by we go up these stairs, followed by this person's covering this corner while I go up here. And that kind of systematic pushing. And that is going to be another round over to Aera.
And that's something I definitely think,
match point as well. Aera, I mean, I want to get super hyped for this game, you know. I want to be like screaming to the heavens, but honestly, this is a very one-sided showing from Aera.
Right now, it is very much in favor of Aera. They're playing a lot harder than Flamers are.
Yeah.
And
this is the thing, like, you sometimes see kind of overhype coming in. I don't want to like overhype something and like kind of try and make it seem super crazy when it's kind of... we've already seen super crazy games today.
Right, definitely.
So I don't want to kind of do them an injustice by just screaming about everything.
G-Bots would have been yet another tie if they hadn't reverse swept in almost the same exact scenario. I believe they were 1-3 and came back for a 5-3 win, so...
That's true. In fact, wasn't it 0-3? I wrote down 0-3. Maybe that wasn't true.
I think they had 1, but it could have been 0. I don't remember exactly.
But yeah, the G-Bots kind of...
But regardless, a pretty heavy sweep. back in the
as
other
well,
direction.
that was their first game as well. Everyone
Right.
had kind of hyped up G-Bot, saying like, this is a team that could be a dark horse, could be a massive contender. Went like 1-3-0, 3 down to Sifu, and then we're just like, hang on guys,
Absolutely.
we're the G-Bots. I mean,
So they mixed it up, brought Buck back in, and took out Thermite for Buck. So they have Twitch and Buck.
wait,
And no Thermite.
no Thermite. So I think this is actually the first round all
Definitely
day
the first
without a
round all day
Thermite.
without Thermite.
And I feel like if you're 4-1 up, you've already got one of the maps won. I mean, this is the kind of time where you can experiment with this sort of stuff.
Right. I don't think. I think they're going for the gunfights in this one, and Buck is not too bad at gunfights.
No, absolutely not. I mean, you've got essentially a second primary
Right.
that takes 0 time to swap between, so why not, you know? But here we go. Going to go for that James Bond entrance, kick through the barricade, and charge on in with that.
Although Aero. Oh no, it's 4-4 already. Okay.
Here we go. He's going to find an enemy. Just gets denied. So clearly, Frost, the better of the two new operators in that 1 versus 1 right there.
Yep. Well, you take the not so great shotgun versus the arguably maybe too great shotgun, and
Yeah, I mean, the Super 90 there getting its Super 90th kill of the day.
Yeah.
Feels like. But here we go. I mean, 4 versus 3, Flamers still with an advantage here on the defensive side.
They definitely are much better at defending than attacking on this map. 4 versus 2 now.
And that's going to be Boros as well, getting a second kill for
Another
himself.
Super 90. Although he's hurt now. Less than third of a And it's tough.
Well, I don't think he minds, because he just got to kill with a better trap.
Right in the bear trap.
And there's QB as well, finding one for himself. And that's going to turn
the
it
kill
into...
cam, there it is.
Oh, there it is, beautiful.
Whoops, I slipped. Smack, bumped his head and killed himself.
There goes Yoshin, my friend. But that is going to be a second round for dat fLAM3RS. I feel like that was kind of maybe...
It's a beautiful ragdoll is what that was.
Yeah, it was.
Just kind of slipped right onto his butt.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you step out of the shower.
Yeah.
There's a puddle on the floor and you're just like... Whoosh.
Yeah, Panky and I were definitely mentioning how hilarious it is to see the kill cam when it is a frost trap. And it just... The ragdoll effect every time is just funny to me.
Yeah. And there was that one as well. There was a cartwheel. That was hilarious.
The cartwheel was solid.
I gotta love kill cams. Kill cams are just... I don't know if any of you guys saw during the alpha build, some of the kill cams were just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
You would see like only the feet and the rest of the model. It was like the feet and the guns, like with the hands attached, the rest of the model kind of just like going all over the place.
I'm surprised fLAM3RS is yet again bringing IQ. I mean, it hasn't worked for them once. I don't know why they wouldn't try mixing up some of the operators, but they're very persistent with taking the most useless ability in the game.
Well,
I mean, if it was working for them, I wouldn't knock it, but it's not, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess on the other side of things, you could argue maybe if this is the strategy that they often run, maybe don't try and kind of don't play the operators that you're not used to when it's kind of on the big stage, you know.
Right.
But again, as you say, it's kind of, if it's not working, maybe something does need to be changed up here.
Right.
Here we go, Pulse again coming out here for Aera. Doc and Rook. Smoke has been a staple throughout. Rook and Smoke, definitely two of the top dogs in terms of defense. No Frost coming out though, interestingly. Frost has definitely been at least kind of second, third most popular operator for the day. I think Rook kind of takes the cake. Smoke as well has been just about in every single composition.
Yeah. And then, of course, some attackers, Thatcher and Thermite, no surprise.
Yeah, that combo. Finally saw the first round without a Thermite.
Very surprised to see Thermite go on that.
I think Ash as well has been really up there for attackers, which I wasn't expecting as much. Nice kill there by enemy to open that one up for Aera. So fLAM3RS on the attack, one man down, one spot. Actually, no, they managed to get one there onto enemy. And that was a trade as well. Enemy was the one that got the original kill, so that's kind of a vengeance, like avenging his brother with the knife, like dramatic.
Just get real personal.
It's like something out of a movie. Here we go. I mean, if you're going to do something out of a movie, I feel like the Russian Kafe is going to be the place to do it. Feels very kind of I don't know. Gunfight movie-esque. I don't know.
It's got trains.
Yeah, it does have trains. That is very true. There are trains in movies, ergo, it's a movie film. Movie film? I don't know what I'm saying. You talk for a bit, dude. I'm done. I quit.
So 4-4. 58 seconds left is definitely in favor of defenders yet again, but
Panic.
3-4, 2-4, right as I say it. Yep, there it goes.
Is this where Panic steps up once again?
Is it in favor of him, though? With Revan? How do you say it?
Revan, I think, yeah. Here we go.
Oh, she's right above him. Oh, wow.
I don't know what's kind of going on here. Two of them kind of just watching him
I thought he
forward.
downed. Oh, was that
No,
Doc? That's
they both
Doc.
just ducked behind
I think
cover.
Doc finally just got himself.
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure whether he got himself up or whether he managed to dodge behind cover.
Okay, maybe. Okay.
I think it was that he dodged away, but
yeah.
Thermite last man. It's going to be Boros on the scene once more. He finds one for himself. He's in a 2 versus 1.
I want to see Panics, though.
I want to see from Boros' point of view right here, or not, because he's already down.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Undead making Boros re-dead right there. Final kill of the game, and it is going to be Aera, sorry. They're not chocolate bars, they are in fact players. And they are going to be able to